thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Why I Love Flagler County, your local podcast spotlighting local businesses and local residents on what they love about being a part of Flagler County. So today I'm super excited to have my guest Nathan with us today. Nathan, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, Nathan and I were connected through a mutual friend with Cameron Beal, who was on the podcast a little while ago, but he was a great episode to learn all about what he does. And it was really cool to learn just a little few things that I saw about Nathan. So I'm excited to kind of get into the story because you mentioned that you have a whole story in getting into real estate. So we'll kick it off a little simple and just tell me a little about, coming to Flagler, coming to Palm Coast, and how's that been for you?
Well, I came to Palm Coast about 4.5 years ago, and I'll tell you when my family first decided to move here, I wasn't happy about it. I had the impression that it was just a retirement community, there wasn't a lot to do. But living here for 4 years, I think that was definitely not correct. Maybe 10 years ago, but I think Palm Coast has definitely evolved a lot since.
Yeah. I mean, like same thing when I moved here. I wasn't as like unhappy, but like I had to make sure they were looking at different places in Florida and I was Googling the population and I was like, yeah, we cannot move here. There's 10,000 people here. I like we're from a very like metropolis, like very like nice suburb, and I was like, we cannot downgrade. I don't think you realize driving an hour to go to Walmart is just not going to be the move. Guys. So that I mean that's super cool. I mean, being here for 4 years, that's really when I think a lot of the boom first hit of like the first like real like a lot of maybe the younger crowd, the non-retiring crowd has really like exploded in since COVID is what I have heard.
Yeah, I agree. I think it has.
That's cool. Well, I'd love for you to get a little bit into your story. So you're a real estate agent. Tell me a little about your story. Like, what inspired you to go down this path?
So my family has been real estate for a long time. I'm a third generation realtor. It started back in the 60s when my grandpa started selling land in Miami. And then after him, my mom got into real estate and now she owns her own brokerage.
Wow, that's super cool. I mean, being that you're a third generation real estate agent, I'm sure there are so many things that you heard from, your family on how they do real estate. Is there anything that since you've gotten to the real estate industry that you're like, oh, I don't know if I saw this coming, or maybe it's a little bit different than they described it to me, or it's something new you had to learn on your own?
I think most people's experience with real estate is slightly different. It's based on who you have connections with and how
Mm,
easily those are made. So I think they really did set me up in a good way, with good expectations, realistic ones coming into real estate.
that's awesome. And what have you really enjoyed about real estate, thus far?
Real estate is awesome because it's your own business. You're in control of it. Its success is dependent on you. So that I really appreciate. That's something I've always been inclined to. I've grown up in a family of entrepreneurs, my mother being a real estate agent, my father owning his own business. And since I was younger, that was kind of the path that I thought I was going to go down. Being younger in school, I always struggled a lot. When I was younger, I was diagnosed with high levels of dyslexia. So education was never my strong suit. But I ended up, through a lot of hard work and a lot of time dedicated, I graduated at 16 and I started immediately working for a public adjuster doing estimates for
Oh,
damaged homes. And then a few years later, after that, my older brother started a mold assessment company. So I started helping him out with the high influx of jobs from the hurricanes. And then a few months after turning 18, I set my eyes on becoming a real estate agent.
wow, that's really cool. It's awesome. I mean, to graduate at 16 for anyone, especially with, dyslexia is a huge feat. So huge hats off to that. That's awesome. And you just really wouldn't, I mean, is there anything from being in those two kind of different-ish, but kind of similar jobs, now going into real estate, is there anything that you learned from there that you were able to apply in real estate?
Yeah, growing up around people who own their own business, you see the hard work it takes. Even though as a real estate agent you have a broker, you're still
Mhm.
responsible for getting all your business. So when it came to mold testing, we'd work everywhere from Jacksonville down to Fort Myers. So that actually is translated into real estate a little bit because I just got a listing over in Ocala. It's a 2.5 hour drive, but it's not a problem because I'm used to that. And when it comes to running a business, you do what you can, especially at
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you have grown up around so many business owners, and it definitely like, my dad had his own business for 20 plus years. My family on my mom's side owned a Chinese restaurant. So I've seen both ends of the spectrum of owning your own business and what that looks like. And it was really great to learn. And it's also taught me a lot about what I did like and what I didn't like when it came to running your own business. Um, but for you, I mean, there are so many real estate agents out there. Is there anything that you like to do that's maybe a little bit more specific to how you like to run your practice?
Well, at the end of the day, real estate is about building relationships with people. So I think that determines how good of a real estate agent you'll be. That's what I've been taught, at least. The brokerage that I'm with and my mother owns is Next Home New Beginnings, which is a franchise, and it's one of the fastest growing in the nation. And
Oh,
they're really focused on relationships with people, making the whole real estate experience modern. So that's kind of what I like to bring to people, modernizing real estate and getting into the new generation.
yeah. When you say modern, is there anything like specific that comes in mind that maybe people can get more of an idea of what that means?
Yeah, from modern levels of marketing
Hmm.
via social media, Instagram, YouTube, or even virtual campaigns as opposed
Oh,
to mail outs.
sure.
Um, they've been shown to be way more effective and modern in the way we view real estate. I think it's more of a modern way of viewing it as it's more of a relationship business rather than transaction.
Yeah, no, I love that so much. I mean, I've said this a million times, and it's now that like people come up to me and they tell me they listen to my episodes, I get so self-conscious about like repeating myself. But I think it's my favorite thing is that I've talked to so many business owners here in Palm Coast, here in Flagler, and I think every single call they love to highlight that their relationship with their client is the most important one to them. They do everything that they can to service them or connect them with someone who can service them in different ways, maybe ways they can't. And I just think it's such a highlight of our community that every single person I've talked to has made that a point. And I'm so glad that that's something that you guys really hold close to heart too, especially coming from so many business owners, is that you were really raised the right way when it comes to business, the way that we should all operate. Yeah. So is there anything like I mean, you've been here for about 4 years, which I feel like it's kind of a while. Is there anything that you would recommend for maybe newer people in Flagler? Maybe places we can go, events, groups we can join, anywhere to kind of get out there in the community, kind of get to know their neighbors a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Palmcoast is a really great place for that. It opens up a lot of opportunities. A few that I've personally enjoyed that I'd suggest is Palmcoast has bike trails all over the city. So, and you'll see the regulars there every day. And they're really beautiful bike trails. As long as that, the Flagler Beach is a really nice beach for walking around the pier or the boardwalk. And as far as favorite places to go, mine is probably Burrito Works Taco Shop on Flagler Beach. I'd recommend
Really?
that one.
Where's
Yeah.
that?
It's right across from the pier, Funky Pelican in
Oh.
Flagler.
I haven't been. I didn't know we had one like that. I'll have to
Yeah,
go there.
yeah,
I love like a really good like when they do like really good tacos. Like that's you can't beat those things.
no,
So I will stop by now. That's so cool.
yeah,
That's why I love this question is I learned so much new things or like a new shop and it's like I love to go out, but you can't just go out randomly and kind of throw a dart. I mean, I feel like for Flagler, you kind of can throw like a dart at a
you
board and
almost
like
can.
everyone that you go to is like amazing.
Yeah.
But it's also great to get these little recommendations. So Nathan, I really appreciate your time on the call today. I've had so much fun learning about, your story, about how you like to do business. It's really cool to listen to how other people do it. So what's the best way people can get in contact with you if they'd like to learn more information or anything like that?
Yeah, the best way is my Instagram, Nathan Nodal with next home new beginnings. All my contact information is there, along with more information about me.
Perfect. And I'll make sure I have that link in the description so people can click on that just a little bit easier. So again, Nathan, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it. And for everyone listening, I really appreciate you as well. And I will see you next time. Bye.